For almost 150 years, the Saratoga name has been synonymous with the finest quality, sustainably sourced spring water available anywhere. Saratoga carries on the rich tradition of its forefathers by crafting each stunning blue glass bottle with the same attention to detail and care that has been its hallmark for generations. Visit SaratogaSpringwater.com today or ask for us by name at your local market or restaurant. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Good morning, and welcome to Talking Horses. He is the king of the north, apparently.
I am king of the north.
Nanook of the north over there. The big A, Anthony Stabile.
It's a Game of Thrones thing, welcome back.
It's good to know that you have such diversity in life. You know, the Game of Thrones, I'm Andy Serling, by the way. Game of Thrones has been off the air, Anthony, for a couple of years. It's time to move on.
No. You've been listening to you listen to the Grateful Dead every day. It's time to move on.
You make a great point.
I got my hair cut for you for your return.
You didn't do it for me, Anthony.
I did.
You did it for yourself.
I did it for
you.
you.
Had to wake up in the morning and look in the mirror and see that nonsense that was going on up there.
I did it for you.
It's touching.
Lost a few more pounds with the haircut.
So here's what I've learned. Anthony considers himself the king of the north, and he...
Francisco said he was going to send
his
the Raven.
His hair, what you do with your hair, you do for me.
I do.
If you really did something, if you really did something with your hair for me, you'd have fashioned it into a wig. Anyhow, it's nice to be back. A little warm here, but we are expecting some possible storms to move through. You know, we really haven't gotten much rain here. As you can see, look at the infield. You know it's July when you look at the infield at Belmont. It's turning brown. The rail on the Widener is down. Just notice that. It is up relatively significantly on the inner. How much, I don't know, if that's 18 or 27.
This just about shows the differences between me and you. You're so active turning around. I'm just being lazy and looking in the monitor and seeing all the brown on the grass in the infield. But yeah, we could use the rain. We got hit with a little rain last night. Obviously didn't affect anything. Fast and firm. I was driving back from Roslyn last night.
The sprinklers were on when I came in.
Yeah. I mean, but it poured for a while. I hit a couple of downpours driving home.
Well, you know, the thing about rain that people have to realize is that thunderstorms don't dramatically affect us. Is evidenced when we had that crazy storm move through the day before Belmont Day, and then we had the delay. And when we ran the turf races, the turf was a little bit off, but it wasn't a bog or anything. Because to make it a bog, it has to be a long, sustained rain that goes on. A storm that blows through, that water just sort of rolls off a lot of it.
Right. When the storms roll through, the bigger concern is an immediate concern that it could waterlog the course and cause cancellations and moving. But yes, right. Over the course of the 3 days, if you get the same amount of rain you get in, say, up at Saratoga, you get it in 2 hours.
All right. So we've talked about weather enough. I'm going to cut that off because weather is
I'm just saying.
You know, it's the second most boring form of conversation from the remember when.
It may play a role in today's card later on and tomorrow and Saturday. Could happen.
Head over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, this could play a role, by the way, in your life today.
This will play a role.
Tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. By the way, we're racing Monday. Monday, July 5th is I think is the official holiday for July 4th. So we're running a 5-day week. I feel like this is the only 5-day week of the Belmont meet. And then we will be off until Friday, and we'll have a 3-day weekend to close the meet for in Saratoga. Match 200. You and Performer can become members of Naira Bets. He's retired. I don't know if you're retired or not, like with Performer, but you could use Match 200. We will match for $200 for your initial deposit. Also, Saturday contest, you play through Naira Bets, $300 buy-in. You have until 5 p.m. tomorrow to sign up, naira.com/contests. And of course, America's Day at the Races, 1 o'clock to 5:30 today. Greg Wolf will be back tomorrow. It is Maggie and I to start. The MiG will be down in the paddock. Maggie will eventually go to the paddock. MiG and Acacia, I believe, will close out the action of the show. Anywho, race number 1.
You ready? You're off a little layoff.
I'm ready. Race number 1. Race number 1, we'll take a look at Excess Capacity winning 2 races back. Now, Excess Capacity was claimed for $16,000 for Linda Rice, came back in the claiming series, whatever these things were, whatever they call it.
Claiming championship, Andy.
Claiming championships, according to whom? You know, horse racing throws around the word championship. This is February 8th in the cold tundra of Aqueduct. Championship is something we throw around in horse racing inaccurately with just reckless abandon. Championship meets, championship days. People will say horses are champions that aren't. Excess Capacity is the controlling speed here. I get it. She hasn't been out in a few months. Claim for 16, off for a few months, running for 10. I get it. I'm not thrilled. I didn't want the 5. You've taken Lovely Lady Lexi, but I'm going to stick with the likely favorite and the controlling speed and Excess Capacity. Go ahead with Lovely Lady Lexi.
Listen, I can't say I blame you. I just didn't want the source off the 3 months.
By the way, I'm not going to say it, Joe, but I know exactly why you picked Lovely Lady Lexi. I know why you did. It's okay. I get it. I do.
Why?
You know. You're just not thinking.
I don't.
Yeah, you do. You're just not thinking. You've been away from me.
Anyway.
You've been away from me for a week. Now you know why. Now you do, don't you there, big boy?
Oh, man, how long have you had that in the holster?
Honestly, it just occurred to me. That's because I'm sharp.
That's pretty
I'm
good,
sharp
my
off the
man.
laugh.
That's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted a little shot against the favorite, and I thought she was really the only viable option. She's got to get faster. But you know what?
Well, she does have back races.
She does have back races, and the funny thing is, her best races came for Bruce.
Yeah, I don't like her last race because it was a slow-paced race, which you could argue may have affected the fig overall, but she just sort of sat there in a slow pace and actually lost ground, not gained it, but obviously she can win. I threw in Mongolian Humor between them, who's taking a significant drop in class and does pick up a real rider change in Manny Franco, and I thought because of the connections, you'd probably get better than that 3-1 morning line that probably wouldn't take it as much. I went 2, 3, 5, separating them. You're trying to beat Excess Capacity. It was even money in the line, and I certainly, whatever she ends up, she's not going to be 5-2, and if she is, I highly doubt she's going to win this race.
I don't disagree with that.
Race number 2, we are on the Widener Turf Course, where I mentioned the rails are down, and not sure I love the rails being down, given that I like a horse on the far outside, but you have taken the number 8. Masked Marauder.
Yeah, Masked Marauder dropping in for a tag for the first time, gets Lasix, second start off the break. I thought the horse's 2 turf races were okay. I actually like this horse's first race going long, going the mile here at Belmont Park. Ran behind Breadman, who at the time looked like he was going to be okay.
But he was a first-time starter. He has turned out not to be. He has
turned out not to be okay.
It didn't at the time look like to be okay. It was a first-time starter that got bet that won, who's turned out not to be any good.
The 2 horses he ran behind in his turf sprint are okay.
Okay.
He had the race
Doesn't the drop worry you off a bad race off the return?
It does.
He comes back off the return. I know he's a big price. It was a super tough race.
Do you think
but
he's going
running
to?
At all.
But I think the thought process is twofold. Do you think he's winning any maiden special weight race? Probably not.
Bet those waters are cold.
Do you think
those waters
he's
you're bringing
winning
up are cold?
Any?
Well, it's cold.
Do you think he's winning a specifically a turf state for?
No, I don't think. Well, hang on. Yes and no. Based on his 2-year-old turf form, yes, he's a maiden special weight that you would. Let me put it this way.
I wouldn't discard him.
If he was running in a maiden special weight, I think you and I would both have him in our play.
Yes,
I'm not saying he'd be on top, but he's a horse we'd have in our play.
Yes, but it would be much tougher.
It would be tougher, but they're not even giving him a chance.
They're not.
So, listen, I picked him second, Anthony. I'm not against this horse by any stretch of the imagination.
It was a 6-month layoff. Maybe he can't run anymore.
Yeah, that's what worried me. I mean, that kind of worried me even on the dirt, because on the dirt, he's probably more the horse to beat on the dirt than he is on the turf.
I don't disagree with that either.
So I was a little concerned because I know somebody tried, but he handled the mud before. He was awful last time. Just awful.
He was terrible.
But he does get Lasix, maybe at an issue. Whatever. He's the horse to beat. No issue with it. We'll take a look at Dream Point and Voliero. And I think one of the reasons he's kind of the horse to beat is I just feel like I've seen enough of this crew. I mean, Voliero couldn't have gotten a better trip and ride from Luis Saez last time. It's not like Dream Point didn't get a good trip in this race as well. And Tulane was a Grand Motion horse coming off a lap. And the whole field hit the wire together. Clearly, both these horses can win, but do you really want them?
No. I mean, I picked Dream Point second for the simple fact that Voliero, who, you know, was contesting a pretty good pace last time, it looks like there's some other horses in here, Spiritual King, namely, and even I can't imagine Mass Marauder's going to be too far off of things.
Mass Marauder's supposed to go.
Yeah, I mean, you would think, but, you know, you see a horse like
I think
Voliero,
Spiritual King's going to be in front.
who ran his best race, went forward last time. I would imagine they're going to follow that recipe. It's why I wanted Dream Point a little bit more than Voliero, but yeah, I like you. I've kind of had my fill of that bunch.
Yeah, I'm not saying they obviously.
They can obviously win.
Their horse to win. I've got them third and fourth. You've got them second. I'm very interested in Noble Conquest, and there's no question there is a reasonable discussion whether or not he's a particularly effective racehorse. But he did run a fast enough race back in April to be competitive. Ocala Dream, I don't know what happened that day. He was 80-1 for some reason. This horse had a legitimate trip in his last race.
He did.
This horse had a legitimate trip in his last race. It wasn't, it's worth watching. This horse is better than his last race suggests. In a race where I have reservations about the 8, I'm not thrilled with the 4 and 7. They are unquestionably the right 3 horses from a logical standpoint. I'm looking for a stranger. A Noble Conquest, if you want, go back and watch the replay, make your own assessment. I think he's a price that's worth throwing in here. Anybody else of any interest?
I thought On Mixed Day had some trouble in the latter part of the sprint last time. 2 sprints to start his career, one 6 months ago, one last time when he dropped in. Now he stretches out. He's going to be a big enough price where if you're playing pick 4s and pick 5s, early ones, I would throw this horse into the price.
Good luck. All right, race number 3. Every time I pick a Randy Persaud horse, the horse gets scratched. Every time. I try and I try and I try, and I can't. We'll take a look at Extra Effort, and Happy Sophia, and Left Leaning Lucy running 2, 3, 4 behind heavily favored 3 to 5 Awesome Indra. Honestly, it is Omar
Moreno Hernandez.
Omar Moreno Hernandez?
Yeah.
Wasn't Omar Moreno a player for the Pittsburgh Pirates, right?
Yes, but this is
good.
Hernandez.
Yeah. I know, but it's written as...
Just kick it right a little bit. I like what I've seen so far.
Well, the other thing is, you got to just go to the lead here.
Supposed to, yeah.
Well, I mean, if you have an inexperienced rider, going the front seems to be a good way to go. I'm going to take Extra Effort off the scratch to wire the field. I just don't like betting horses like Tenderness that are going to be short prices off of wins in a lower class race. And he beat Hey It's Toddy. I don't want anybody to just beat Hey It's Toddy.
Yeah, I guess it's a lower class. I mean, it's one condition.
It's significant difference. Non-winners 2 lifetime, non-winners 3 lifetime are big condition moves.
I don't disagree.
Not they can't win.
Right. I mean, she's just... I kind of feel like she's the most consistent of these horses. She's got a couple of wins in her last 3 starts.
Well, wait a second. From a speed figure standpoint, she's no more consistent than Extra Effort.
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, I don't...
Fair enough.
I mean, I think they're the 2 logical horses in the race. I'm not... Unless you want to... So you've got Carrick second.
Well, I'm not going to let that barn beat me at this point. And I know the cutback, right? She's kind of... 2 of her last 3 races. Love to know where
her last race came from.
Right.
Certainly not in her PPs before it.
But 2 of her
was the
last,
first time in this barn.
2 of her last 3 were going a mile and a 1/16. One at Gulfstream, one here. Both around 1 turn. And she could just simply be a case where she needs the extra real estate. But I'm not thrilled with Extra Effort off the claim. I don't really like left-leaning Lucy enough to really. I don't know.
I take that
She's
a little
probably
personally,
better.
but okay.
I love Lucy. I don't like left-leaning Lucy, the horse today necessarily. I thought it was 2s, maybe a little 7s. I mean, Tenderness. She is what she is. She's won 2 of her last 3. She's in form a little bit. And
you like horses off wins. I do not.
Yeah, no, I know.
Race number one of the ones she won, she paid $260. Race number 4.
You'd have lost this one, right?
No, I don't really give it much. Well, I don't know. You're picking a horse that can't win, so what am I supposed to do about that? As far as public information, will show him beating JARREAU, who came back with a perfect trip win and won his next start as well. Honestly, I considered taking the horse I picked second on top in here because he'll be a much, much better price. I actually just think the public information is better than these horses, and it's because it's not just that his last race was good. I don't think that his last race is an aberration. He did not have the best of trips two back in a race where the pace held together and he tried to close. I think his race two back is actually fairly efficient as well. I don't know. Did I send this stat in for him? Yeah, I sent it. I know he's going to be a short price, but I think this is pretty interesting. When Chad's coming off of maiden wins and turf routes and they go right into claiming races, I think a lot of the conventional wisdom might be they probably kind of suck. You know what I mean? They're the lower horses in his barn. And I'm not saying they're killers, but he's winning with almost 40% of them. And I understand the ROI suggests that these horses are paying around $5.60 to $6, but they're winning. You know, I mean, they're delivering it better than their odds. And for Chad Brown to have those kind of stats and that kind of ROI with these horses suggests they are winning.
They win
better than their odds.
I didn't have that stat. And that's a fantastic stat. Here's the problem.
You guys must be shocked.
Here's my problem with him. And this is the thing that made me go and take a little bit of a
picking a horse that can't win. Yeah,
no, I didn't pick a horse that can't win. This horse, I agree with you. I think this horse is probably, I don't think it was an aberration. I think this horse ran well.
Okay.
Why is he not in a starter? Listen, I know that there's dozens of horses ready to come in and 2-year-olds. I know the whole thing. But I thought this horse.
What star did he miss? No, which star did he miss?
Listen, there's horses at Monmouth. There were starters at Monmouth. I'm just surprised off of that race. And again, I know the operations are differently. I'm just surprised he was not protected.
They don't want to lose this horse.
Andy,
he's going to work the party circuit.
I understand that, but it's not like they don't run horses in starters.
So that led you to pick KK Ishikawa. Besides having to pick Rudy at least once a day, what could you possibly like about this horse?
Well, I thought this horse ran like a horse that needed the race off 6 months last time.
He did?
I like the fact that Rudy waited to make the equipment change.
Got the biggest figure. He got the biggest speed figure he's ever done.
I'm very well aware.
But
he gets a significant rider upgrade to Joel Rosario.
To a rider that rode him to a 5th place finish in his prior start.
Rudy's numbers with blinkers, the short numbers, are good.
How do those short numbers work with that Graham Motion Euro that you left off on Sunday?
What did you want me to do?
Short numbers work for that.
What did you want me to do?
The problem with KK Ishikawa is that the race that he won was a supersonic pace that completely melted down and made a number of horses look better than they are. And the reality of his races is he's never really done any running in his races, and I think he looks a little sexier than he is partly because Joel Rosario is picking up the mount for Hector Diaz. Frankly, I think Hector's ridden fine here, and Hector rode him well last time. And I think if Joel watched that race, I think he would say nothing that Hector did, nothing I can do that Hector didn't do in that race. And another problem I have with that race is I don't buy the figure. Auburn Hills came back and was completely ineffective. Amistad, who I believe is running in here, we'll get to in a moment, it's an incongruous number for him. I don't believe that number is indicative of the quality of the race. So I hear you. I don't like this horse.
Well, hold on a second. Amistad has 2 other turf races on his card in which he earned a 72.
Going 6 furlongs.
Okay.
Whether or not he's really an effective router, we'll see. I think that was a very weak field. I think that public information would have destroyed that field.
I don't disagree with that.
Absolutely destroyed those horses.
And the winner got a similar fig to public information.
Listen, you're taking a price horse, and I'm taking an even money shot. I thought More Like It was a little interesting. Now, I think there is a very strong argument that More Like It just can't run anymore because his 2 races since coming back have been crap. They've just been bad. Excuse me. They just have been poor. I mean,
potty mouth.
Is that a bad word? I don't think that's.
I think it's fine.
Okay. Sorry, I apologize.
I think
trying to offend anybody.
Well,
I'm always trying to offend somebody. The question is who. Usually it's him. This is a horse, though, that does have races that can win this race.
Yeah.
Repeated efforts can win. I know he's won for 13.
Isn't his problem going to the bench in the last 2 that they've...
Yeah, he may not really be able to run effectively anymore.
They're all form. But 2 sprints to the stretch out, and maybe he gets, his distance races. Back last year, they were kind of in line with his sprints.
Right, but yeah, I guess his last 2 races have been bad. He has not lifted a hoof. I mean, listen, last time the race was dominated towards the front end. You could say the same thing about 2 back. Now he's stretching out. But as you say, if he had never run well going short and he did much better going long, you could make a better argument for him. And that's why I put him on top.
In his defense, he made he broke his maiden in the 4th start of his career. He was entered for a tag first time out.
The 6 and 8 are both 6-1. We're at 76 lunches. Can we bet 2 lunches? I'll
Sure.
take 6 over 8.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
I'll take that.
Race number 5. 2-year-olds. I'm going the one that started in here, and that's Darn That Song. You know, when you hear Darn That Song, you think of Darn That Alarm, and you figure they're a gray. I don't see Darn That Alarm anywhere in the pedigree, but the horse is a gray. Remember Darn That Alarm?
Sure.
Nice horse. Turn Back the Alarm, of course.
Turn Back the Alarm.
That's related here, right, in a way.
8 days.
Let's take that. That is funny with Darn That Song. And I will say one thing. This horse broke a step slow. Francisco, I know you're
A lot of weird things about this horse, right?
Well, I'll say one thing. It's not like they gave this horse a race.
No.
Broke a little bit slowly. I didn't see anything wrong with the rail looking through the charts for Parks that day. I can't say I did an extensive, didn't watch replays, but didn't seem like being inside was a real hindrance. They tried. They did stay right down on the inside, which I never loved down there, but got off a little. I just want one experience in a New York bred. You almost wonder they had this race in mind, maybe. And they said, I want to give the horse a race before it. But the 8 days is weird. I don't disagree.
5 weeks ago, this horse was at Gulfstream Park. And now she's in New York.
Better her than me.
In New York by way of a maiden try at Parks. Interesting.
By the way, was yesterday Jason Beam's debut at Tampa Bay?
It was.
You know, you could have called me and told me. I might have listened.
You were the one that was off. I was working.
That's why you would have known. You were working. Did you cover any Tampa where you were?
We didn't. The weather looked
Did
like
you
it was
bet
gonna,
any
the weather
Tampa?
looked like it was going to be bad. No, the weather looked like it was going to be bad, and they wound up canceling the last race because of lightning in the area.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
It wasn't because people were complaining about Jason's calling?
I think the microphone went out a couple of times as well, and they didn't even get to hear him.
It's a bad sign. Is it a bad sign on your first day? They do job calling races, the microphone's going out, they're canceling races?
They say it's a good...
That's the one day they run,
they
right?
They say it's a good sign when
it
rains on your wedding day, right? So maybe it was a nice way for them to break in down there. I don't know. I always try to look at the bright side of things, Andy.
I know. You're just a bundle of
I'm a Mets
positivity.
fan. I'm a curable optimist. Remember him? He was good.
Yes. Discussed him on the show recently, actually.
Oh, wow.
One of the best 2-year-old turf horses I ever saw.
He was
Literally.
He was unbelievable on
He
the
and
turf.
Barbaro hooking up in a 2-year-old race in the turf would have been a battle of the Titans.
Yes, it would have.
Was it the Pilgrim where he won by like 10 lengths?
Yeah, Pilgrim
I think he got
galloped,
like 100-plus buy, like 110 buyer
yeah,
or something crazy.
Something nuts.
Right, something like unheard
Like a
of.
107 or something like that.
Barbaro's first 2 races were on the turf were unbelievable.
Delaware Park maiden.
Yeah, and then he won at Laurel
Futurity. Yep.
No, because Laurel Futurity is short. Was it? Maybe they lengthened it.
Laurel Futurity used to be a mile.
They made it longer. Yeah. Yeah, he won by like 10. He was unbelievable.
Barbaro. John Curran from Delaware called him Barbaro in his first start.
By the way, Rich Glazer from Delaware passed away while I was gone.
Very sad.
Yeah, I did not know him, but from all accounts, he was a wonderful man.
When I was doing the old New York City OTB Thoroughbred Central show, he would do a hit from.
He was really entertaining.
I mean, he was an entertaining
guy.
We'd spend the first 5 or 10 minutes of the show going over the changes, getting his opinions at Delaware, and it was 10 of my favorite minutes of the week, just chatting with him. That's when they ran on the Monday, Tuesday schedule, and we'd have them on every week. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, he'll be missed. It was funny. I tried to reach out to him for an interview a couple of years ago, and I couldn't track him down. But, unfortunately, he passed away last week. Great guy. Great guy. I love it. Not too many people love this game more than Rich Glazer. Everything was about horse racing with him.
Yeah, no, I saw our friend Gabby Gadet said some nice things about him as well, and I'm sorry I never got to know him, but condolences, of course, to his family and friends. What'd you do here?
I went to Christophe Clement with the number 2.
Oh, I can't believe you went to Christophe.
Ready AP.
Wait a second. Anthony Joel's not riding this one.
I know.
Should we text him?
Louis Saez
He's not even riding in the race. Should we text him and find out what's going on?
No. Dan was 4 for 10, earned $193,000. This horse has 2 siblings.
Oh, were they killers?
1-1.
Were they killers?
1-1 on debut.
They were atrocious. In case you haven't looked it up, they were atrocious. You know their sires were, too? Because this one isn't more ready.
Yeah, they were. I did not write the sires down.
They were Uncle Mo and Empire Maker, 2 bums.
Yeah.
So this dam has been bred to a couple of very, very solid sires. And then a third one, more than ready, and the first 2 can't run. That worries me. That worries me a little bit. And my horse is not going to be favored, David. David, I think I owe David like a really nice dinner. because I was making fun of him one day. And he
You
was,
think
of course,
Clement's
right.
going to be favored? You think the Maker horse, the number 3, is going to be favored?
Who do you think is going to be favored? Who do you think will be favored? Who do you think will be the shortest price? I'm sorry. Do you think the 6 will be a shorter price than 2 and 3? Because I'm going to say if the 6 is a shorter price than 2 and 3, that means that the 2 and 3 can't run.
I think the 2 will probably be the favorite.
That's what I thought. West Point and Christophe, not favored, 125,000. What about the 3, the Dam's All Turf?
Yeah, 3 was curious too. The 3 and the 6 were really curious. 3 has one pretty solid gate work back in May at Keeneland after the meet wrapped up, and they keep the horses there. But other than that, it's kind of a quiet work tab. I don't know. Yeah, I thought this horse was.
Well, it's a New York. These are New York bred.
Yeah,
so that's why the 3 is here.
But I would not be surprised. Like, yeah, I know the bottom was turf. Maybe they run on this horse once on the dirt, get a race into her. I mean, I'm sure she can run a little on the dirt. She has a couple of decent works. Maybe they're running her once to run into one of those mile and a 16th races up in Saratoga, or one of the 5.5 furlong. We run the turf sprints for the 2-year-olds in Saratoga? I don't think so. I think we only go long for the 2-year-olds in Saratoga.
What are you talking about?
For the New York bred maidens, they run state bred sprints. This I don't remember for the 2-year-olds.
It's a Gamble beat Thin White Duke in a 5.5 furlong turf race.
Second half of the meet or early?
The whole meet.
Was it right away?
We run them
Okay.
the whole meet. Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember. Okay.
Tough week with me gone or something?
No.
You sure? Anything happen when they cut your hair or something?
I got a car.
You did. That's right. I might get to see it on Saturday. I'm excited.
Got a
Really?
car. Anything else?
You have a baby seat for me in the back for when
Mr. Phil won again.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah.
He stopped the bleeding on Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. Anyhow, I gave him too much rope. We'll be back in a minute to discuss the late pick 4.
Make business meetings exquisite. Make a weekend outing exquisite. Make a late night snack exquisite. Make a night on the town exquisite. For nearly 150 years, the Saratoga Spring Water Company has been producing the finest spring water available anywhere. Saratoga Spring Water. Make every day exquisite.
Welcome back to Talking Horses, presented by our good friends at Saratoga Water. I saw Adam when I was up in Saratoga. Active
You should be
week on
dancing
the
around
porch.
well last week.
She did. We talked about her, actually.
Oh, Philly got loose on her.
Yeah, well, the other filly ran big. The other filly
Yep.
she wasn't beating the other filly. The other filly was good. She was legit. Race number 6, 7 furlongs. And at this point, there are MTOs left in. They had to come out of the first half with the early pick 5.
There was actually one MTO was left in early. I think
9.
race 4. Yeah.
That 9 horse in race
Well, the race
number
horse.
4.
Yes.
Thank you for that, which starts to pick 6, and that's why
That's
obviously
why.
we'll have to
Yep.
take that at some point. And hopefully it won't matter. But we will give you some off-the-turf picks for these races in case they should come off. What'd you do here?
I
Oh, we
went
both
to-
picked Evidence Base.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You didn't pick a Klarovich, you had to pick the other one. I
Drop
picked them
down.
both.
Drop down, blinkers. The horse
Thank God I was here for that.
Demodog came back and won an allowance race at Churchill last week. Actually, I thought ran pretty well.
Speed ran 1-2. Nah, the buyer figures weren't anything special on the horse that came back and won. Second horse came back on at Woodbine, 3 buyer points worth. I don't know. This horse broke a length slow. Really didn't do any running in there. Tyler did a good job of, frankly, getting this horse over the inside. Was too wide in the first turn, the rail in the second turn. But it was a race with the pace basically held together. And at the end of the day, we'll take a look at ADELE, the number 6, who's probably going to take some money in this race. And my feeling is, and ADELE can win. But if she's going to be one of the choices in here, I'll take a new face like that.
She was second in a very, very weak.
This was one of your great opinions of the meet. You like Patty D at 30-1, the horse in front.
Yeah.
Who had the lead until the very late stages. This is about as good. This is a good opinion as any of us had all meet. Didn't win, but she ran terrific.
Oh, this was a weak race, and then she came back and.
I just don't know if she's that good.
She probably didn't belong against that bunch last time. But now she drops in, and you kind of feel like this field's in the middle. It's nowhere near as weak as the field she faced first time. It's not as strong as the horses she ran last time.
Well, she ran maiden specials, but see, I don't really like know-how. You like her even less, because I don't really think she's done any running or races. Now she's dropping 2, and obviously she can win, but I didn't really like her. What do you possibly like about Little Nutter?
Well,
She should have a terrible race.
I didn't have any kind of fuzzy opinion. Yeah, you know, her
Well,
race
you do have a
last
fuzzy
time,
opinion of her. She can't win on paper.
I don't know. I thought she ran against a little bit of a better bunch than she ran against today, and I don't think she did much
I'm sorry.
wrong. I know she.
You think the Lily Simone piece by the Journey is a better field than this one? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I mean, if you take
I
evidence,
beg to differ.
Hold on. If you take evidence based out, I think it is.
I beg to differ.
Okay.
I think that field last time was atrocious.
Okay.
Absolutely atrocious. The winner ran, but she didn't do any running. She come back. Oh, she gets scratched. She might get scratched. Yeah. I thought the interesting horse here is Synonymous. I'm surprised you don't have the 1A in here at all. What's your concern with Synonymous? She's coming out of a million times better field where nobody changed positions. Then she's going a mile and a quarter. First time in a mile and a quarter, she actually ran okay that day with a bit of a trip. Heeman Harkey rode her. Geez, I thought that Synonymous was. I actually considered putting the 1A on top in here.
Okay.
To be honest, she's the only horse I considered taking over. You know, the part was a problem with the entry because I didn't like Exotic Cat, but I liked her. Geez,
Okay.
I think. Don't fall asleep on Synonymous. Can I bet you the 1A beats the 2?
Sure.
Okay. I'll bet you one lunch on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you'll be down 78 now, and I don't know if we want to get right to 100 when we get to Saratoga. I really, that's my goal, I think, when I'm setting my Saratoga goals, to cross 100. I think when I cross 100 in Saratoga, I know, because I'm only up to 76 now. Can't possibly get to 100. I think we should have a cake. I really do. I think there should be a cake.
Not getting you a cake.
I'm going to speak to Mrs. London when I get up there and have a special,
You can get yourself
happy 100th lunch.
Appropriately, you'd be
cake.
getting yourself a cake, but I'm not getting you a cake.
Oh, you'll be paying for it out of the
I won't
lunches.
be paying.
You'll be paying out of
Well,
lunches.
it's a different story.
There
But
you
that's
have
not
it.
technically a lunch.
It's going to
not
be.
a healthy lunch.
It'll be like a celebration. We'll get some of our friends from up there to come to the set, and we'll recognize that event. Race number 7, the entry scratched in race number 7. Did that affect you emotionally or in any way?
No.
Okay, just checking. Okay, so you're going to just wire the field with Happy Farm here. That's the plan. You, Irad, and Rob Atras.
Do you want me to just?
Why, do you think George's going to close?
No, I mean, I do love the fact that he was able to pass horses last time, but he's not going to need to do that today.
Well, the good thing for him was the horse who was second to him, he does not want to pass in the stretch.
Yeah. He's long gone in here, right?
You do realize this field is, that was a maiden, a 20 claimer masquerading as a 50. This is a 75 to 100 claimer masquerading as a 50, right? Masquerading as a 50. Or this is a 50 or something. I never get that straight.
And I know you don't care about this, but at this trip, at this distance,
Well, you're not worried about the 6.5.
I would think the only horse I'm worried about is Mi 3%.
Wow, by the way, that just rolled off your tongue.
Thanks.
No, that was impressive.
Well, that's what happened while you wait. Merton Ilke won a race.
I know. I was rooting for him. I was home. I was in my apartment. I was so excited to see
Happy to
Cantor
see that.
Machi win. I was. I really was. I was
was
literally
too.
didn't bet the races, watching it over, but I was rooting
too.
for the horse down the stretch.
I was
Really.
too.
That's how bad you've gone. You've got degenerates. You know, I would say one thing about if you're a horse player, you can always sympathize with a trainer who's going through a bad
Absolutely.
run because we've all been
Absolutely.
there. And speaking of, say it.
Mi 3%.
Musical. Let's take a look at his last win. This was one of my better opinions of the Aqueduct meet when this horse won 3 back. Of course, I didn't have it last time. I had him second, I think. I mean, he's the horse to beat in here. I just don't really trust him off the layoff. But let's face it, he's the horse to beat, right? He's pretty good, this horse.
He's good.
I mean,
Good
he's
horse.
beating on, Wicked Trick and Chateau. And, I mean, these are secret rules. I mean, this is beating up some hard-knocking, tough horses.
Yep.
Just, I don't trust him off the layoff.
Right.
But
And that was the only reason I didn't put him on top. The layoff.
he's the horse to beat.
Yep.
What do you do with Town Classic, the 6, who I have second, you have third? We're sort of, I don't like Happy Farm. I agree with you. He's the speed. I do. I don't think he's as good enough.
This horse lost. You don't have Happy Farm in the top 4?
I don't like him. As I said to you, I don't like this horse today. I think he's going to take money, and I don't like him. He's the one I want to bet against. He's
My
Irad
problem
Ortiz.
with Town Classic.
Take a look at his last race.
The Town Classic problem is he's a horse that used to have a lot of speed, and it's gone. Now, he's ran
Never
okay.
had that much speed.
He didn't have that much speed,
No,
Andy. He had some speed. This horse
where?
had some speed.
Where?
This horse used to have
I'm looking
some
at
speed.
the other races.
Oh,
Not really.
All right. He used to have some speed. Anyway.
He sat on top of a slow
it's
pace
all gone.
against better horses last time. Good
It's
horses.
all gone. And the truth of the matter is, last time, off of his 2 prior efforts against Firenze Fire and Basin, he's supposed to win off that trip last
Basin's
time, isn't he?
connections lied to me on
I know
Twitter.
they did.
They lied to me on Twitter.
You gotta get over it, man.
I can't, Anthony.
You gotta get over it.
I've been upset. That was really the reason I took the week off.
How do you think they feel?
I
grade
took the
1
week
winner,
off.
not a grade 1 winner, grade 1 winner, not a grade 1 winner. I mean, they're dealing with
I
issues
think the
too.
term is they was robbed.
They was robbed.
It was robbed.
Yeah.
I thought that was a
My problem with this horse was his last race. He's supposed to win his last race.
borderline great point. I don't think he was supposed to win last time because they were playing Jalen Journey's race game. He's the one who was the speed.
That's fair enough.
I think he ran fine last time. If it wasn't Safi Joseph, I wouldn't use him. But that guy's horses are running.
Correct.
And I'm not going to let that guy beat me, and I think the 2 and 6 can win. My opinion in this race is more that I'm against the 4. I may end up being wrong, but I'm not going to, after I'm against the 4, I'm not going to say, well, I don't really like Town Class. I'm against the 4. The 4 wins, I lose.
Listen, you don't need any other opinion in here. If you can get
if you're right.
If you're right.
As far as Musical America, you know me. I haven't had a chance. I haven't had a lot of opportunities to bet turnbacks recently. Well, this horse can win this race. What's wrong with this horse turning back? I thought he was very dangerous in here. I just thought he was a very interesting horse cutting back in distance. He's faced some tough horses. He's run some fast races in the past. He's second off the claim for Charlie Baker. You know, I'm Charlie's biggest fan. And I just thought he was a little interesting in here as an alternative cutting back.
Save the one race against Tenderfoot. He's just not as good as he was off the
But he ran well against Tenderfoot.
He did. But I feel like he's kind of regressed since then. I don't know.
Okay.
Not for me anymore.
Okay, I like him on the cutback. I'm going to take him turning back in here. I'm against the 4. You are not. We disagree. Race number 8. This is one I think that we agree. And, oh, by the way, race number 6, if it comes off the turf.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to take Mary Jane Chrome over Strong Point. I went 3-4, mostly 3-4.
You went 3-4. I went 4-3.
Okay, there we go. Race number 8. The horse to beat on turf and dirt is this one, Spongy.
The Sponger.
I wanted to pick against Spongy because I liked her last time. She should have won. Runaway Rumor won the stake. She was very fortunate. The second horse was clearly best.
But she still ran well
enough. But she did run well, yeah. She improved her by her figure a point or two. My problem with Spongy is, not only did I like her last time, I think you liked her too, she got a great trip. She didn't win.
Perfect trip.
I don't like when horses get great trips and they don't win. But she may have just lost a horse. And the other thing was, Anthony, I couldn't make a strong case for anything.
There's nobody to make a case for here. I mean, there's really nobody to make a case for.
Who am I supposed to like in here? Isn't she an overwhelming favorite? I mean, the fact is that you and I both have this horse, and we'll take a look at Pure Bodie. This is Pure Bodie breaking her maiden. I think Pure Bodie is the other horse in here because she may have some upside for Mark Hennig off the layoff, right?
Yep. Yeah.
I don't see Pandemon beating Spongy. Do you? I know she's speed, but Spongy's supposed to sit close to her.
Blinkers go on, Pandemon today. Maybe they wake her up. I don't know. I mean, her
just is who she is, Am.
She is who she is.
I guess she has a chance, but Spongy's a better horse than she is. And maybe this horse could step forward.
Yes.
It feels like we've seen, I feel like we know who Pandemon is. Maybe this horse, and she has to improve, but maybe she could improve.
But I'd rather take a chance on Pure Bodie improving at twice the price than taking the devil I know at second choice.
I agree.
I'd rather take 2 swings against her from playing exactas, and I'll probably play exactas in here. Maybe even Big Al's gal. I don't know. She was
bad last time. I watched the replay. She broke a little slow, but Jose gave her a great ride after that, and she was just on the rail. It paused off heels of silliness. She was just on the rail.
I think, listen, we're both endorsing a horse that's going to be a prohibitive favorite, but I think you can get Pandemon out of the number here, and I think maybe that's the way to make some money in this race.
I don't know.
What happens if she's supposed to win if it's
I think the 5
off the
is a
turf
fuzzy,
too, right?
but I think that OK Honey is who I want in the dirt.
Okay.
I went 7-4-1A if this race comes off the dirt. I'll use a little Karamoka. I think Pure Bodie, if this race should come off the turf, not Pure Bodie, Spongy, is going to be a little overbet because they see that big 6-length win geared down completely. I have no idea what that means, but I don't think that dirt race was that good.
Okay.
I think she's going to be way overbet on the dirt. She can win.
She will be.
She can win, but I think OK Honey's just a better horse. You know I love OK Honey.
I picked Spongy.
7-4-1A on the dirt for me. What did you do on the dirt?
I went 4-11-7.
Well, you had to have pay grade in there.
Have to have pay grade.
Pay grade. Do you like pay grade? Oh, you picked pay grade in the Bowery. I think it's good for her. She'd get a running start. I think she's there.
Race 9, Francisco.
Did you miss me? What was going? Did you?
I spent the week with Acacia. You want to answer the question?
Yeah, you missed me.
Ha!
Yeah, I know. She let you run amok.
Ha! Nobody lets me do anything, by the way.
Yeah, she let you run
Nobody
amok.
lets me do
Right,
anything.
she had no choice. You're like a runaway freight train. You're like a bull in a
lets me
china
do
shop.
anything. Contrary to popular belief.
There's no popular belief. It's not a belief. It's known. We'll take a look at Bailout, who on paper is the horse to beat in this race.
I've
running
seen
second.
enough.
You're going to
seen
give
enough.
Hilliard one more chance. You and David Aragon will be betting this horse every race. What are you guys giving up on this horse? Maybe David can text me on
This is it.
This is it. Okay.
This is it.
Okay, I'm holding him to that.
This is it.
There will be a Saratoga where he picks this horse, and I
No,
will
no,
abuse
this is
him
it.
to-
I promise you, this is it.
He comes back at a maiden 20,
Nope.
Monmouth.
That don't count.
Why do you like Hilliard here? I mean, Bailout doesn't win. That's the reason you don't have Bailout on top.
Yeah, I mean,
I know he doesn't win. He's over 22 with
and I
7 seconds.
feel like he's just had enough chances already.
I agree, but what about Hilliard? What am I supposed to like about Hilliard?
Well, he's getting inside now. He's going to make an equipment change.
He
start
got a
off
great
the
trip
break.
last time.
Yeah,
He did.
I know.
Yeah, you know, he
I'm
did.
just hoping the blinkers wake him up. He's going. Dylan Davis going to pick it back up here. Who rode this horse in his first 3
Okay, we're
starts.
regurgitating the PPs.
He's going to be a price. I'm hoping the blinkers make him a little more forward. I don't know if anything can help him being more forward, but maybe it gets him in the game a little bit.
He won't
a
be
little
more
bit
forward.
earlier.
I'm going to take Inspiration Point to wire the field. He's the obvious other horse, and I'm sure I assume he's your top choice in the dirt as well.
Of course. Yeah.
Right. I mean,
What else are you gonna
it's
do?
interesting. You ask yourself this question: why is Todd Pletcher dropping this horse putting him on the turf? He doesn't have a ton of turf pedigree. The second dam is very good turf. The first dam is unraced, and she produced one to try the turf and didn't win. Why is Todd Pletcher in the turf in a maiden claiming race without trying a maiden special? And that is a valid question. Thus, I'll provide you with a stat. First time on the turf, maiden special to maiden claimer. 5 or 19, 26%, 234 ROI. Small sample size, but in this small sample size, Todd has had terrific success, positive ROI, outrun their odds. So on that small sample size, it's worked for him. Wire the field. Wire to wire.
Yeah, he would need to transfer his dirt speed to the turf.
You think there's a chance he won't be in front, assuming he doesn't fall at the start?
No, I mean, the only other horse I would imagine would be in front here is Bailout if he's aggressively ridden, and this horse doesn't take to the turf. But you'd need both of those things to happen.
Could not take the turf and still be in front. Many horses that don't really like the turf will run off on the turf. You know who I want to use, throw in as my bomb? The horse you have fourth. Jedrick, half the 2 turf winners. 3 of them really moved up a lot. 3 horses to try the turf, 2 that won and 1 other moved up impressively from dirt to turf.
Yeah, I'll have 10s. Listen, I don't love Hilliard.
Who's your second choice on the dirt behind the 2?
Oh, I like the horse, and I don't normally take these horses. The horse claimed from Chad Brown, the number 9, Value Chain.
Number 9.
On the dirt.
Okay, because?
Behind. Well, I didn't see a ton of turf pedigree here, unless I missed something.
I didn't look the horse up.
Yeah, unless I missed it, I didn't see a lot of turf pedigree. I don't know.
I didn't see a lot of talent unless I missed something.
Well, yeah, that could be the case too, but, you know.
I don't know what that herded start means.
Give me a little.
I didn't see it.
Give me a little bit of a fuzzy. He'll be a. He'll be a price.
Irad gets lost to the board.
Oh, but
You sometimes actually get 5 to 1, and we should be 15 to 1.
Off the turf, Inspiration Point's going to be 3 to 5.
I'm using Centurion as my other horse.
Oh,
2-3.
interesting. Okay.
Well, I mean, when Centurion was on the dirt,
maybe.
it was a much, much tougher field. It was a long time ago. And 1 chance.
Prince of Caps
Ugh.
has only run.
Dirt races are terrible.
Yeah, he ran 2 dirt
races
races.
are terrible.
Yeah.
And I'm not by the Loyoka Road or Lacoya
Road.
That race is kind of
Today's Por Ciento.
does not. All right. It's lovely to be back. 1 o'clock post today.
Yay.
The only Thursday left in the meet. No racing next Thursday as we run through Monday, July 5th for the holiday. I think we're one of the only tracks running on Monday. Some other guys aren't running.
One of the only tracks that usually doesn't run that's running, yes.
Yeah.
I noticed that because we used to change the radio schedule a little bit when that happened, but we're not because everybody's running Wednesday.
So
That
you
ordinarily runs.
running a big barbecue on Monday?
No. I'm hanging out with Acacia on Monday, actually, after her shift.
You have my sympathies occasionally.
No sympathies, my man.
You didn't have enough after last week? Do you want to
Everybody
subject
wants to
yourself
hang out
this
with the
too?
big A, Andy.
I'm guessing because you know you're going to have fun in Saratoga, you figured you'd have something miserable happen in your life before you head up there.
Because you know
I
me.
get it. I get it.
uh,
I totally get it. Listen, I'm into self-punishment too. Anyhow,
I'm a wallflower in
if
Saratoga.
you want to do something about that's right, you don't drink in Saratoga. That's right.
That's what I said.
Only
You're acting
flaming
like I'm
Mai
a
Tais.
wallflower in Saratoga.
Only flaming Mai Tais. Head over to Naira Bets if you're not a member of Naira Bets. Ask yourself this question: why am I not a member of Naira Bets?
Why is Performer still on the screen?
Why is Performer, who was retired 3 months ago, still promoting Naira Bets? Why Performer? But he is. He's at Claiborne. Maybe we'll go see him. I think I'm going to bring him one of these. A picture. Look, Roy's here. Roy's lurking by the set. See? My man. Seen him in a year and a half. Guy's one of my close friends. Also the contest, you have until 5 o'clock tomorrow. Tick-tock. What do we have? We have
That's
about
your second TikTok.
28
What's
and a
up
half,
with you with these sound effects today?
28 and a half hours left.
Wow.
The clock is ticking.
This guy's sick. You're losing it, huh? America's Day at the Races in mid-sip, 1 to 5:30. Fox Sports 2 today.
Plethora of bottles up here. All right. We are done. The voice of New York racing, John JARREAU, has a day off today.
He does.
We flew him in all the way from the West Coast.
We flew him in all the way from Oceanport.
From the West Coast. That's right. He's calling Mama tomorrow.
I don't know if you can get the Mirror Man on a helicopter.
I wouldn't go in a helicopter for money.
I'm gonna go no on the helicopter for Frank.
Frank?
Yeah.
Surprised he gets in a car. Frank Miramati will be calling. We have the pleasure of having the one and only Frank Miramati.
Maybe if there was a new
races.
pork pie waiting in the helicopter, he'd be on.
No, Frank's not getting in a helicopter.
I don't know about
Anyhow, we're done. It's been a pleasure.
See you tomorrow.
I'm reining him in. I'm doing the best job I can.
There's no
Not
reining me
easy.
in. People need to get that notion out of here. If the monster ever comes out of the cage, though, you're all in a lot of trouble. Just putting it out there.
Anyhow, I'll be on America's Day at the Race at 1 with Maggie. Be a welcome relief. See you later.